Planning and saving for retirement can be a challenge for all of us at some point in our lives. At Roehl Yi Investment Advisors, we believe smart choices today lead to more choices in the future. Hello, my name is Matt Mathieson, and I'm an advisor with Roehl Yi, located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest in Eugene, Oregon. In this discussion, we look at 5 things you can do in your 20s and 30s to help you plan and save for retirement. So why are we having this discussion? Because this will be a 25 to 35 year chapter of your life. You may expect to work longer if you need more money, but life can derail even the best laid plans. Here's what can get in the way. The number one obstacle is health issues or disability. The company you work for may go out of business or downsize. And we're seeing more participants need to care for a spouse or family member. Before we review our action steps, let's focus on the things you have control over and the things you don't. You don't have control over market returns, policies and regulations, or taxation rates in the future. You do have a little control over your longevity, employment earnings, and job duration. And what you can control is your savings and spending and your asset allocation. So now let's look at the 5 strategies you can use in your 20s and 30s to help you prepare for retirement. Number 1, save $500 to $1,000 in an emergency fund. This money is not intended to be in the stock market. It's meant to be in your savings account or in a CD, so it's easy to access. The purpose of this money is to help in cases of emergency, like when you need new tires, or the dryer needs repair, or your fridge stops working. This fund is to prevent you from using credit cards with a high interest rate. Number 2, establish a working budget. Give a name to every dollar that goes out the door. Financial personalities out there all have a system to provide guidelines for what you should be spending on housing, insurance, clothing, and transportation. A budget is not meant to micromanage you. It's intended to help you see where your dollars are being spent. The third strategy is to work to eliminate debt and avoid using credit cards. Commercials tout free points and using new miles to pay for your trips. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. When you're paying 18 to 25% on a credit card to buy things you can't afford, that debt can impact your ability to save. Here's 2 ways to tackle your debt. The first way is by using the debt snowball approach. Line up your bills from lowest to highest and pay off your first debt, hypothetically a $50 payment, instead of making the minimum payment of $10. Now use that $10 payment to pay down your second bill, and so on. This way you can build confidence and you can control your finances. Another approach is the avalanche approach. With this strategy, you simply pay off your highest interest rate first and then work your way down. Often your highest interest rate may be your highest bill, so don't get discouraged when using this framework. Either approach works, but the bottom line is you want to avoid using credit cards at all costs unless you can pay off the bill in full each month. The fourth strategy is to participate in your company's 401k plan. One way to think of where your money comes from while in retirement is to envision a triangle. There's Social Security, your money and personal savings, and your retirement savings. As you go through each decade, you can track your retirement saving progress. This chart isn't intended to be judgmental, it's meant to help start the conversation. How old are you? How much money do you have saved? In this example, a 30-year-old participant making $60,000 a year should have $60,000 saved. This assumes you're contributing 5% and getting a 6% return. It also assumes you're going to retire at 65 and be in retirement for 30 years. Use this as a guide. So, how do we get there to where we're saving? If you're 30 years old and want to maintain that $60,000 household income and lifestyle, you would need to contribute 10% of your salary right now, assuming you haven't saved any money already. As you look at the chart, you can see that the older you are when you start saving for retirement, the more money you'll need to contribute. Strategy number 5, our 5th and final strategy, is to begin the 1% challenge for each year in your 30s. One study showed that when a participant starts saving in a 401k plan and starts out at 3%, 10 years later, they are most likely only contributing 3%. Many record keepers are now using what's called auto escalation. Auto escalation means that your retirement deferral rate will increase by 1% each year until it reaches a certain cap. In this example, we see stubborn Sarah. She starts and stays at 3% deferral, and she's accumulated about $487,000 over her savings career. Escalating Ethan starts at 3%, and he raises his deferral percentage by 1% every year until it caps at 10%. His account balance grows to about $1.26 million. Super Sam starts and stays at about 10% contribution from 25 through all 40 years. His portfolio balance is at about $1.4 million. Using auto escalation at just 1% each year can have a big impact. So where can you find this extra 1%? As we give every dollar a name that goes out the door, there are some areas where you can find an extra 1% to save. Look at your insurance needs. Review your coverage and talk to your insurance agent about potential discounts. Technology can eat quite a bit of your budget. Things like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Comcast, Dish Network, and Verizon can be expensive. Try to trim down and share subscriptions with others if possible. And finally, fast food. It's so easy in today's society where time is at a premium to grab fast food. But meal planning at home can help keep food costs down. So let's summarize. Here are the 5 things you can do in your 20s and 30s to help you prepare for retirement. Save in an emergency fund. Establish a working budget. Work on eliminating debt. Participate in your company's 401k plan. And begin the 1% challenge for each year in your 30s. As a final thought, focus on where you're going and look through the windshield and not the rear view mirror. Do what you can with what you have, no matter where you are at this moment, and work forward. We believe smart choices today lead to more choices in the future. If you need help with your retirement planning or savings approach, please reach out to the advisors at Roehl Yi. Thank you for listening today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.